Okay, sorry for the holdout. I'm going to show you all a video. It just briefly kind of talks about the history of content marketing. Just 1 second, it's loading. Okay, sorry guys, I don't think the video is happening. I think it's sort of coming across in the open. Just 1 second. Okay, sure, I'll do that. I think I'll send across the link later to y'all. Can y'all see me now? Can you just reply if you can see me? Okay, great. So we'll start, guys. Yeah. Okay. So so basically, I'll just briefly explain you all what the video really entailed. I don't know why it's not playing, but anyway, I can share. I can always share the link with you all later on. This video really is the foundation of content marketing. It talks about content that started in 1904 and how really in terms of content things have changed. So from like newspapers to magazines to then outdoor getting into picture to then starting off online to getting blogs to actually people reading bigger articles to sort of tweet, which is only 140 characters. So really we've seen that content has really changed in the last Sorry, switch off the screen share, is it? No, I'm not getting what you're saying. Sorry. Are you able to see my screen? Are you able to see me, guys? Is it proper now, guys? Okay, okay. I'm so sorry for this, guys. I'm sorry. Great. We'll resume it. Okay, so coming back, the foundation of content marketing, really, I'll send across the video to you guys. Sorry for all this mess. We'll jump right back into the content marketing and the storytelling bit. Any successful content marketing campaign today can hardly ignore being online, right? If you want successful content strategy, you have to know what's happening online, what's trending on Twitter. Do you want to create some sort of topical content around your brand? Is that something something that works for your brand. So really, being dynamic in content marketing is one of the most important things to remember, because storytelling has changed over the years. The attention of people stretches to more places than a few years ago. Any marketers have to make sure that they have to tell the stories they actually believe in. um, you know what your brand is, and you know what your content is. Now you ask, how can I succeed at content marketing myself, right? If for example someone's working at Times or HUL, if you really want to know what your brand is and how do you succeed at content marketing. Now there are three major categories where you can put content marketing efforts. It's online, offline, and hybrids. The best way to kind of learn to be a good content marketer is by example, right? So lots and lots of content strategies exist today. In the beginning of content marketing world, that wasn't the case. At one time, marketers had very few options. They essentially had only billboard signs, magazines, or newspaper ads. Even in those days, the choices were very custom made. Now today they have like videos. You have 10-second or Instagram videos. You have bigger campaign videos on YouTube. So today content marketing has more mediums and methods, if I had to put it that way. And it's majorly three important steps, right? You have to map out your content strategy. You have to use that strategy to solve your problem. Say for example, if you want to drive sales for a certain client, you have to use the right kind of strategy to drive that the content that really works for your brand. And finally, map the content of the buying cycle of people. Don't just think from the brand side of you, but also think as to what the consumer really wants to absorb in terms of content. Many a times I think in advertising, we all get lost into the space where, oh, like what new should we create, or what new can I make in terms of the content and the video that my audiences will really like. The strategy I feel for that is to move the focus away from the marketer and to the person that you're trying to reach. That's an incredibly important step to take in your own content marketing strategy. If your content doesn't cater to the right people with the right problem that your product can solve, then your content marketing efforts are all down the drain. Whatever the case may be, I think you should always start with your audience. I think always, whenever you have your brand, always map out who your audience is going to be. What do my audience like? What do they eat? What do they feel? What are they thinking right now? What do they want to buy? What's their buying power like? Um, Whatever the case may be, think about your audience first. You must create your content for the audience. Only then will the right people pay attention to you, and only then you will get the most important thing today we call is engagement. Because if you're catering to the right audience via content marketing, the whole goal is to get engagement, which is then sorted. So your long term vision of it is solved. Developing a content marketing strategies, what are key takeaways of what I really spoke about, right? A content marketing strategy is very different from a content strategy. Content strategy I'll come to much later. Probably we'll cover that tomorrow and brief today as well. But content marketing I'm speaking about right now, content is tomorrow. There are no universal templates of developing a strategy, really. Your strategy should basically outline your key business and your customer needs, and how your content efforts will address them. You need to document your content marketing strategy, and a verbal strategy is not enough. So I usually work on excels or presentations, and that's the way to feed in. Because when you're making like a whole jot marketing calendar for an entire year, you want to actually see, okay, fine, what is happening in the first quarter, what's really happening in the second quarter. Okay, the second quarter looks a little dull, let me see what topical things can we do. So really actually having the whole year sort of ahead of you planned in a Excel sheet will help you plan content better. Your content goals and missions are very critical to your success. So you have to jot down your objectives very clearly as to what the campaign is about, internalize them or post them in the workspace somewhere. Refer to your strategy very often. Go back to your strategy, give it a periodic tune up, or you might want to change your strategy, you might want to change some focal points, or mentioning that. So one should be doing that regularly. Your strategy should really outline your key business. It means that you need to understand your customers, audience. The ultimate goal, obviously, is to grow your business, right? But again, you can't do that without attracting good customers. Now, content formats we'll go into. Has everyone sort of got this? Have you got this? What content marketing really is about, how it caters to the audience, and how does it help? Just revert back with a quick yes, or if any questions you'll have. Okay, great, great. I'm glad to know we are all on the same page. Okay, so we'll quickly dive into the list of content formats. Now, under the list of content formats, there are lots of things, right? So there's content curation, there are blogs, there are press releases, there are email newsletters, there are illustrations, there are reviews, there are FAQs, there's a Q&A session that happens, there are blogs, videos, templates, slide shares, quotes, quizzes, polls, podcasts, spin boards, lists. Type in if you can think of some content marketing formats as well on the message. Memes, I think memes is a very, very important part today. Photographs, right? That's the most important part. Photos, photo collages, I think pin boards, a lot of them. So all of these are content formats. So you're really, the sky is endless. There are tons of options as to what content you can really create with all of these formats. So do not get overwhelmed. I tell all my clients, there's lots to do, but let's all focus on a single strategy. You're here to learn about the benefits of each option and when to use which one, because that's the most wise thing to do. While there's only one goal of content marketing, to increase business revenue, there are many ways to do that. But before we can jump in on how we create your own strategy, I think you should first understand a little bit more on content marketing, or yeah. So coming to the top priorities of, like top content marketing, I think, so this is just a statistic fact that I just, kind of saw online, and I thought it would be interesting to share with you all. There are bridges. So I'm just going to lay down bricks that are very, very important when it comes to content creation. One is creating engaging content, very, very, very important. Second is better understanding of what content is effective and what is not. Creating visual content, finding more better ways to repurpose content, right? And content optimization. I think that's very important. But a lot of times, what top challenges that content marketers face while doing this is producing engaging content. I think that's very, very difficult. We all face that when you're working on the brand side or the client side. You kind of understand and realize that engaging creating engaging content is really difficult. Measuring content effectiveness, even if you've created good content out there, but how do you really effectively measure it? Producing content consistently, like, right, like you can anyone can do like one video or a good campaign photo shoot once in a while, but how do you produce content consistently is what the real challenge is. The fourth being, how do you measure the ROI of content marketing program? And when it comes to lack of budgets, it gets even more difficult. Producing a variety of content is also a very, very, very important thing that we must get into. Are y'all on page with me, guys? Do y'all have any questions? It could be anything. It could be sure, sure, sure. What is oh sorry, I'm just going to take some questions now. What is a press release? A press release is basically a press release is basically an article. So what happens is when, say, for example, a brand is launching something, right? You have a new collection that's happening. How do you get the entire media to talk the same language? A press release is basically a one focal point of communication piece that goes out from a brand side, and which talks about a similar idea. So, for example, Cadbury's, they launch a new collection, a new celebration box only for Valentine's Day. They they introduce the flavor, strawberry flavor in chocolates, and they introduce the limited edition of chocolates for Valentine's Day. Now they are doing a very big event for it, and they want to send out a press release to all the media editors to get on the same page. So details about what the new collection is about, what's the limited election, what's the limited collection called, how long is it going to be available for, where is it going to be available for, all of those details are sort of comprised together in a press release which sort of goes out to all the media editors. So Ronak, I hope you have your answer. um, Launching something new, or you want to share company plans with general public through media? I did a press release today announcing Doc Prime's expansion to 12 states. Okay, that's great, that's great. That's really good, Amandeep. Okay, so I think we'll go back to I'll continue to what content marketing really is. Interesting questions. Can you list the content types here, please? Sure, I shall do that. In fact, I will list it down on our chat once our video call is over. I think because there are lots of them, and I think I just spoke about all of them in brief. But I shall, in fact, if you can share your email ID here, Anoop, I can email you as well all the content types in detail. Yeah. Okay. I think we'll move on. Cool. So we'll go to really steps as to which how we should approach content marketing strategy. So the first one really comes up to adjusting your view of content's value potential, right? So there are a couple of misconceptions that are typically there to blame when companies struggle with content marketing, right? The value of content is defined in terms of assets themselves. Content is solely viewed as a more efficient means to a sale today. Here the businesses believe that the value of content marketing lies in how much efficient, effective marketing you can do to bring in the revenue and the ROI for the brand. So first one really is adjust your view to content's value potential. The second one being invest in building a more strategic asset. Over years of experience in the industry, there's very, very, very great potential in terms of content marketing success. When we go later into the case studies, I think you'll get a much better idea. But content marketing really adds value to business by building a strategic asset, which is a subscribed audience. And if you are able to do that, then I think it all sort of falls in place. The third step majorly being, how do you sort of strategically get there, right? You have to follow a certain kind of framework. You have to follow a content marketing framework that gets you in there. You have to know your basics about why are you creating content and what value will it provide you, or for whom are you really creating content and how will they benefit out of this. What specific or unique and valuable ideas do you have, around your content assets? How do you structure your ideas, manage your operations on a daily basis to activate your plans? How do you gauge performance and continually optimize your efforts, right? So all of this, why are you creating content, to obviously cater to a certain kind of audience. So all of these questions you really need to have your answers to before forming a full blown content marketing strategy plan. It means that content marketing strategy is a long term strategy that focuses on building a strong relationship. Even when customers are looking to make a purchase decision, their loyalty already lies with you if they absorb your content. uh, so I think let's move on to just 1 second, guys. I'm opening my notes. Thanks, Anoop. I've received your ID. I'm just a second, guys. Okay, so let's get into social content marketing. Um, a little more into detail. You all know already what content marketing is about. We'll get a step down further and go into social content marketing. Um, Social content marketing is really an area where content marketing and social media meet, okay, with an increasingly connected consumer and social B2B buying journey. The attention for social content marketing tactics and strategies are growing today. We see a lot of brands approaching that module. However, the term isn't only about social sharing or putting it on Instagram or Facebook. It's about really optimizing content for your social channels. It's also about connecting social businesses. For example, collaborations, right? You know about content partnerships and brands. For example, someone like a Miss Malini comes up with in a collaboration with a brand, and how they sort of get together to create content. So it's an interesting strategy when it comes to social content optimization, which with main components. Typically, a social media strategy, a social content strategy, takes the needs and behaviors of target audiences and their audiences into account. They analyze how their target audience and personas are used on different social media channels. They look at how user generated content and social content can be integrated. So, for example, if I am Lakme and I want to kind of, apart from my content, apart from my products, how do I really talk about UGC content? UGC content is user generated content. For example, say a Purnima is using certain products of Lakme, and I really, because she's such an avid user of Lakme products, I would really want her to give a testimonial on the brand, to tell me about, as a brand, if I'm Lakme today, I really want to know more about, probably take a real video about what Purnima feels about the brand. She can, so such kind of content where user talks about, what what he or she feels about the product is really important. For example, from social curation platforms, right, such as Scoop Poop or BuzzFeed or Pinterest or simply even Twitter, it adds a lot of value in that sense. Has an integrated social approach. Hi guys, sorry, I think. Hello. Can you all hear me? Yeah, sorry, the audio just. Yes, yes. Okay, cool. Okay, so coming back, a very integrated social approach with search, social content sharing, really looking at UGC content, content that's shareable, that's really engaging and driven by action, by addressing issues, responding to questions. It's very, very important. And I tell all my brands about it. I think today when a customer, and that's really the beauty of social media, right? So what happens is, when I'm a brand and I'm putting content on my social media channels, and I'm really getting a lot of feedback. There are a lot of people commenting saying, oh really, what a lovely product, where can I buy it from? It's really a two-way engagement where you're getting to know the consumer in a way where you can actually like sort of converse with them. You can understand what your audience likes. You can look at the placement of what your TG is like. So it really engages and drives to action. uh, Again, coming back to social collaborations, connecting the dots between organizations, social technologies, social newsroom, etc. If I have to give you some tips and suggestions on social content marketing, here would be the tips. Social content optimization, right? So whereby the social channels like Instagram, Facebook are really looked upon as content driven platforms, where you sort of talk about a broader topic. So for example, if I am a designer brand label, I don't just talk about my brand 100% of the time on social media. I talk about my brand 60% of the times. The other 40% of the times I'm talking about you know uh, the wedding space, because that's where my product is, if it's bridal wear. Or I'm talking about really what's going on in the industry, who's wearing what. I'm talking about uh, if my product is, say for example, salwar suits, right? I'm really talking about what kind of colors are in today in trend, or I'm talking about how to really drape a dupatta in three different ways. So this is the kind of content, or like we are really looking at today, and that really is a combination of user generated content plus your branded content and content that really works on Instagram. um, Very often used channels and tools in a social marketing content basis are blogs, SlideShare, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Google Plus, Pinterest. I think Pinterest, yeah, it's really interesting in terms of curation and bookmarking your tools out there. There are social collaboration like platforms. Um, so yeah, that's about social content marketing, guys. Any questions on social content marketing? Did you all understand what social media marketing is about? Sanjay, what deck are you talking about? I didn't really understand what deck is this, but I'm really sort of sharing my thoughts on what I think about social content marketing. If you have any specific questions on what exactly it is, I can answer it right away for you. No questions. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm guessing you all know about content marketing and social media marketing by now. Now we sort of go a little more into how to build social media into a content marketing process. How do you how do both the things sort of come together, right? So for a time, social media and content marketing may seem interchangeable, but they are actually quite different. Though there can be a quite of overlap. Like sometimes, content marketing is also done on social media in collaboration with it. But the easiest way to think about their relationship is that content is really needed to drive social media, right? So while social media is essential during the two content marketing processes, one is listening to your audience and distributing content on Instagram, Facebook, and all these social media platforms. So successful social media really starts with solid content marketing processes. While any organization can use social media to listen, and there is no downside to that, I think. But before you actively set up your social media presence, I think there are very important things to keep in place. So a content bank, a content hub, a content folder of what do you call it, or a hard drive that has all your content. So it could be your blog, your website, which has a mix of all your content out there, of your content marketing strategy. As well as your social media strategy, because this is where you will be sort of directing your followers. For example, if you are, say, a handbag brand, okay, and you have an Instagram page, you have a Facebook page, but how do you really, when you're talking about one handbag, when you're talking about a certain collection, how do you really get your users on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter to kind of connect with your brand overall? You drive them to a website, you drive them to a common platform which talks about, the entire brand ethos. It gives you an insight of what your brand is really into. So I think website or blog is what we are looking at. Adequate resources to keep up a consistent presence, right? So having an outdated presence on a social media platform is really not recommended. So before committing to a platform, make sure you have all the resources. You need to consistently update your content there. And a content plan, the most important thing is the content plan. You need to understand why you are communicated on a given platform. Why are you communicating on Pinterest? if you are uh, if you are into decor, okay, it makes more sense for you to be on Pinterest, because it's all about, your brand is all about visuals. And so you exactly need to know as to why you're communicating on a given platform and what you will deliver there. So literally points listed down as to, Pinterest is going to get this objectives for the brand. More details on the key elements we can discuss. So in terms of content marketing platforms, here's what we are looking at for your brands: LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, lots of videos on YouTube, Google Plus, SlideShare, Pinterest, Instagram, um, Vimeo, there's Flickr, Foursquare's outdated now, there's Snapchat, or there's Tumblr, there's Vine, there's Tumblr Porn. So those are the platforms we are looking at. Now let's get into the key elements of a social media content plan. Okay, how do you really make a social media content plan? What is the goal of it? What is the desired action of it? To create a basic social media plan, these are the questions these are the points you really need to keep in mind, right? What's your goal for this channel, right? You really need to have a reason to be on every channel as to what you want to publish content, right? To gain followers is not a viable reason. So really, like, if you say, okay, fine, I'm a makeup artist, and you want to just gain followers on Instagram and become a verified account, I don't think you'll get your ROI out of that. To gain followers on Facebook or to drive brand awareness and traffic back to your website can be. So the important part here is, guys, is that your content on the channel will serve as a means to convert the viewer into taking the next step in your desired purchase process. So your content really has to flow in a way where, okay, he's absorbed the content, now he's going to my website, because that's where the social media content marketing comes. And now how do I make him or her buy the product? That is move from Facebook followers to website viewers to email subscribers, maybe, or an event attendee, or whatever the conversion goal you choose in that case. What's the desired action? You need to really figure out what you want someone to do in each channel, right? You want someone to share your video, you want someone to comment on your video, you want someone to visit your website, you want someone to actually feed in their details and register for something. So what is the desired action is something you really need to know. What is the specific type of content the audience wants to get on this channel is something you really need to know. So I would suggest that customize the content you distribute on each channel. Consider what messages are appropriate for each channel and create a message you think that will resonate with that specific audience and your brand as well. So, for example, if you think that, okay, Twitter is all about 140 characters and Instagram is all about visuals, then, keep the, I mean, like, what's your brand ethos like? Do you want longer captions? Do you want shorter captions? If a user is really commenting on your Instagram post or got back with a DM as to, like, this is the product, I want to really buy it, how are you addressing it, right? So if I are you a brand who says hi or what, hi XYZ, and then starts your comment? Maybe. But if you are someone like, say, a HDFC Bank or a Standard Chartered Bank, or much more global in a financial, more serious space, then it would probably be, dear Mr. XYZ. It's just the way you really talk to your clients on social media, the way you engage with them, that really changes the whole dynamic. So customize the content you distribute on each channel. Consider what messages are appropriate for each channel. I would say create a message, make that a template that will resonate with that audience. Think about what kind of information needs your crowd really is asking for. What are you going to primarily put, right? Text, images, videos. Also go back and see, I would say, every quarter as to how each week's content plan is performing. I mean, is there a post that is doing really well? Then your your customers really like that sort of content, and you probably want to do more of it. So, what is the right tone for this channel? So as we consider the topics and the content formats for each channel, I think it's very critical to determine the overall tone for the channel as well. Is it friendly? Is it fun? Is it conversational? Is it super professional, or what is it exactly? So it's a smart idea to understand how often you want to publish content in each channel. How many posts do you want to do per week? Are you into real estate? You might just want to do 3 posts a week. Are you into FMCG products? You might want to do 1 post every single day. What time of the day is best? You'll have different, audiences depending on when they are seeing the response, or when they are really consuming the content, when they are responding to tweets or updating your Facebook status, or publishing a new slide share, for example. So, really, a key tip here is to let your goals dictate the decisions you make in regard to social media content. Um, for example, if the goal of your content marketing is to increase email subscribers, would it really make sense to broadcast all your blog posts on Facebook and Twitter? Yes, maybe. What reason would readers have to subscribe to your email program, right? So think about how you can tweak and repurpose the content you share on your social networks, both as it applies to your goals for the channel and your business objectives. So yeah, this is all about really social media content. Are we on the same page, guys? Do y'all have any questions for me? If y'all are working on some kind of a brand product, if y'all need any kind of if y'all are working somewhere and y'all know and y'all have a question as to what strategy, what social media strategy do I apply here, I'm happy to help you. So let's talk about each platform a little more in detail, right? So Facebook, for example. So Facebook is a platform where you share, uh, you discuss news, you discuss events, you discuss a new content example every week. You know what's happening topical. You can share opportunities, announcements, exciting news with each other. Uh, so in terms of visuals and captions, really content marketing, Facebook is pretty much a combination of both. Twitter is majorly, 140 character tweets. If you really want to go out there with your social media content campaign, you can probably choose a quirky hashtag. You can spin an interesting contest around it. You can drive your conversations based on that one hashtag, and you can track it as to who all are actually talking about it. Instagram, you can make people repost your content and really talk about why Instagram is really really powerful in terms of visuals. So really each platform is very different and it caters to a very different audience. So that's about social media content marketing process, guys. um, I hope we are all on the same page. Before going ahead now, like I want to start, I want to go a little more into content marketing, because eventually when you all are working on your brands and agency side and press releases and like whatever you all are doing, your content is really important. I'd like to throw in a couple of facts here, which I know. So buyers go through about 57% of the purchasing process before like talking to sales, right? 70% of B2B marketers are creating more content they did 1 year ago. So I would say never really build content on your rental land. Uh, Ask questions, is your brand fit for content marketing in a way, is your company interested in being positioned as a thought leader in your industry? For example, Oreo campaign, right, guys? I mean, I don't know if y'all have heard about the Oreo marketing campaign, but they did a very, very interesting social media campaign I'd like to talk about. It's sort of a case study today. If y'all have some time later and if y'all want to go through, I think on YouTube, y'all can just type Oreo marketing case study, Oreo social media case study, and you'll have the case study. The case study basically talks about how really a biscuit brand really spoke about uh, 365 different topical news on social media, and how did it really spin. So what they exactly did is, every day they used to think about a topical news that really happened. For example, today a new movie is releasing, so place the biscuit in the movie poster and create some content around that. If it's Christmas today, use Oreo as a Christmas ornament, and really wish people Merry Christmas on that. Or if it's Diwali, put the biscuit as the diya and wish people Happy Diwali. If it's really, if it's talking about demonetization, or if it's talking about Me Too movement, any topical news, they did this exactly for a year, and it really worked well for them. They got a lot of traction. I think about 37, if I'm not wrong, 37 or 39% of their like sales, queries, etc., increased after this content marketing. More importantly, I think consumers sort of started looking at Oreo in a different way. It became a thought leader in their industry, and it became known to do something different. As a marketer, you have to also see, are you closely aligned with sales, and are you thinking like a salesperson? Are you thinking about how do you get your ROI from digital? Do your customers go through a considered buying process online? How are you all really shifting them to the website? Are you ready to drive inbound leads and nurture relationships on digital? uh, these are the challenges of content marketing, right? So content marketing is like, the efforts are not free, right? Time and commitment is very, very much required to do content marketing well. Remember that, guys. Content marketing is something new. It offers a constant stream of data and analytics. So content has to be customer focused, and I'll keep saying that. How do you kind of get started, right? So you document your content strategy. You set goals. You determine your objectives, your brand voice, you understand your buyer, understand your target audience, map out your content that will solve your buyers' needs and drive them down the funnel to go to the website, register, etc. Develop your promotion plan, guys. Very, very, very important, right? You set goals. Now, what is your goals exactly? Is it lead generation? Is it brand awareness? Is it engagement? Is it lead nurturing? Is it customer retention? Is it really to upsell your brand? Is it really launching a new vertical for the brand? So you really need to set goals. You map out content, right? So you do it in terms of case studies or e-newsletters or webinars or videos, or you tell a story about your content. If you're really launching, say for example, it's a jewelry brand, it's a well-known jewelry brand, you really tell, you launch your product, yes, but you tell a story with it, which is what Tanishq always does. It always tells a story with the content. And what's the point of really launching that collection? It sparks an emotional reaction. For example, all of the Tanishq ads you see, they have an emotion of surprise or laughter or like joy in it. You incite action with your content. Content's not about the reader. It's not about your own brand or your company. It's just about how you really engage with the audiences. You create content that is bold, that is original, that is novel, but depending on what your really brand is. You use very high quality visuals always on Instagram, Facebook, and make it shareable content. Like work on a plan that's more shareable, that people can relate to. um, get started. I would say these are the steps that I always follow when I am making a social media content plan. Start small, start with objectives you can realistically achieve. You need to prioritize what your goals are. Be inclusive. Understand who you're talking to. You need to test regularly about how content is working for you. Like for example, I am managing a lot of pages for my all my brands on social media, and I have a habit of going and checking as to what's really happening. Oh, last week I put this up, is this content really working? Okay, if it's not working, I need to change my content and work on something better. Then I realize, okay, fine, I introduced 3 or 4 different content pillars. I take a rough guess on, okay, this is the engagement. On the first one, I've got 400 likes and these many comments. And are the comments relevant? Are people really talking and engaging with the brand? So that small changes can mean big successes. Or think about the next step, right? And rely on really, really good data, really good pictures, campaign images. How do you really measure your success of a social media content strategy? Sales, yes. Or you get direct queries on Instagram now, direct queries on Facebook. People are buying from your website. Or you get leads, or you get more downloads, more subscribers, more comments, more conversion rates, more sharing, more consumption, and social media mentions as well. So yeah, that's about social media marketing and the major steps to it. Yes, Ronak. Instagram Shop has also started, I'm aware. Initially, it was there only in the US, and now I think in the next quarter it's coming here as well. So as soon as you actually tap on the picture, it kind of shows you the actual price of the product, the link where you can go and buy it from, and I think it's very interesting. And that's the beauty of it, right? Are you all liking the lecture, guys? Are you all understanding everything I'm saying? Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Are you all understanding what I'm saying? Are we on the same page? Superb. Okay. Okay. Now, I really want to talk a little about 2019. what are the social marketing trends that are predicted, right? It's very, very interesting to talk about this, and we're talking about this since the year started. It's just been a week, and but these predictions are out there. And in fact, Instagram, we so the company that I work with, we have meetings with the Instagram team and Facebook team a lot often. And we always have a meeting with them every quarter. They come back to us. In fact, the Instagram shop thing, we knew about it a quarter before it was actually going to launch. So the team is very, very cooperative. It shares insights on content marketing trends that will really shape the advertising industry in 2019. So, to begin with, like there are about, I think, 4 to 5 trends that I know about and that I would like to go a little more in detail. So, as y'all are planning the year 2019 for all your brands, wherever y'all are working, y'all know that, okay, these are the points to keep in mind, when it comes to content marketing. So, the one is video will continue to dominate. Okay, videos are a big thing. It's a biggest trend in marketing last year. Even like in 2018, the biggest trend continued to the videos, and even in 2019 they are predicting not only in English but Hindi and other regional languages. Videos are dominating news feeds everywhere, with millions of people on the internet bandwagon, armed with like cheaper phones and cheaper data. Everyone is kind of consuming content on their devices now across the country, which is why you also know, I mean, a web series like Sacred Games was made, right? And it was a massive, massive hit because the whole strategy on how do you get there, the regional languages, how do you get an audience that's in a regional language on a platform like Netflix, Hotstar, etc. So it's time to really jump and experiment when it comes to videos. I think with a lot of live I mean, like with Instagram TV launching IGTV, right? With Instagram videos already being there, with with vertical videos, regional content, and short film video ads, videos are going to dominate in 2019. So that's the first one. The second prediction is, organic reach is dead. Gone are the days when you post something on any platform and you see it grow organically, right? All big platforms have tightened up the screws. You got to pay for the distribution. The only way to get organic reach and beat these platforms is to have kick-ass content. That's the only way to drive tons and tons of engagement. No platform in the world can stop you if you have really good content. The goal must be to create killer content and spend your distribution budgets only if it's driving engagement. It shouldn't be like, a lot of my clients tell me, like, should we promote this post on Instagram for 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees, or Facebook? On Facebook, I have clients who have ad campaigns who are doing worth 2 lakhs. But in the end, it really, really comes down to, views can be bought, but engagement cannot be bought. Engagement is really earned. So focus on creating content which makes engagement easier, and you don't have to pay much for it. You have to pay medium for it. I wouldn't say don't pay anything at all, because having consistent budget overall is also very important for marketing. Otherwise your growth really lies. But having kick-ass content is the most important thing. Create for low attention spans. I think for tiny mobile screens, think conversations first. Don't sweat about the production value, and focus on storytelling. I think focus on what your brand wants to communicate, and most importantly, I think make it share worthy. When we make our messaging powerful, every person who sees and shares it becomes very aware about the content we are spreading, and that's how startups will compete with big budget competition, and more engaging content will always win. The third one is, branding won't be about brand recall anymore, right? So brand recall is all about getting us to as many eyeballs you can, which comes with budget spends, yes, and in millions on traditional media for sure. If you're doing a newspaper ad or or outdoor board or a magazine printout ad, the generation today is trained to ignore ads. I mean, when do you ever remember seeing at a newspaper ad and actually reacting on it, right? Digital is everything today. So, in terms of brand recall, is out. Relevance is in. Relevant content, long form content, web series, bumper ads, short videos, really short videos. They say the users, attention span is anywhere between 20 to 25 seconds. You can, if you can gauge that, but in 20 seconds, then you have them for a longer time. So the more conversations we have on our content, the more relevant our brand will be in the news feed and in our consumers' minds. Branding will be about relevance and not recall anymore. So that's the third one. The fourth one is influencer marketing. Right? Do you all know what influencer marketing is, guys? Do you all know what influencer marketing is? Okay, great. You all know. You all know what influencer marketing is. That's amazing. Super. Then, so influencer marketing, yes, is a very big 2019 prediction. It got off to a pretty weird start when it came in, because everyone from bloggers to influencers to real influencers really sort of got in the bandwagon and started promoting themselves as really, But really, when you're working on a brand, you really need to think. An influencer is not just another uh, it's just not another distribution channel, but it's just really someone actually talking and promoting your brand with confidence, and with and when they are the right fit for it, when they are super strong with it, then you know that it's kind of coming in together. So tailoring the content to the right influencers, and not just everyone, will really make sense. So influencer marketing, yes, is very, very important. Apart from fashion bloggers and media and content partnerships, I think real influencers. So for example, for a jewelry brand, okay, influencer marketing campaign would be, tying up with all the millennial or the social media brides that are actually getting married in the year, because you're really looking at your potential audience there, and you're really talking to your potential audience. So yeah, guys, this is really the prediction for 2019 social media marketing trends. Making famous people are mini brand ambassadors. Sorry, I didn't get you, Ronak. Oh yes, do you mean you make already bloggers and influencers your mini brand ambassadors to kind of talk about your brand and experience the brand in a way where you're really giving them out a product, you're letting them experience it. You probably, the qualities and the characteristics of those people and your brand sort of connects in some way, and they become your mini brand ambassadors. So we've covered content marketing, social media content marketing. Under that, how do you plan a content, plan what are the important points to keep in mind, 2019 predictions really. Now we go into a case study that I really want to discuss it with y'all. It's one of my favorite brands, and I think it's done, I mean, like, considering the product and the brand, it's done really, really well for itself. If you, I mean, like, I don't know if you guys must have heard and seen actually, but I think Red Bull has one of the most stellar content marketing or case study. I think world records were broken we can never forget what how Red Bull's really global strategy sort of took up, and how they sort of uh, built up their Facebook, Twitter, video interactions, their YouTube interactions, etc. So Red Bull really uses excellent sport action, right, in their YouTube videos. Most of Red Bull's customers are not those who participate in extreme sports or high action events. They do know that it's a great marketing scheme. So the company really utilizes YouTube to provide videos to their subscribers using different extreme sports in a video series. So they have a series about racing, and which I think was an amazing, amazing content bucket that they sort of, like, like sort of put out, because it's a complete match, and it was great. It was another great marketing scheme, from an awesome brand like that. What I like about Red Bull is they always put their customer first. One of the major ways Red Bull wins in content marketing is that they always put their customers first. They interact with them really well. Their customers might not necessarily participate in sports and or other events in such, but they enjoy watching it, right? So that's what the brand really wants. They use multiple formats for content, so they understand the need for multiple content formats, because they understand people consume it differently. And because of this, the company not only uses their, like digital marketing skills, but they also utilize a magazine, social media channels, uh, images, blogs. I think you must, like, Red Bull blogs are one of the famous ones. This is a great way to reach out to their audience in enough ways to keep reaching out significantly to a wider audience. Um, they make marketing more than just a department. So their media house states that they're not the only ones responsible for coming up with these ideas, right? But they believe in getting an effective campaign out always. It's a great way to not only engage with their customers but their employees as well. So happy, engaged employees can mean major success for any business, and that's exactly what we want, right? They also have a very strong slogan, which it says, Red Bull gives you wings, right? It's a great example of creating a memorable slogan that helps people remember your company very quickly and easily. Regardless, you cannot deny that Red Bull has created one of the best slogans. Even Surf Excel, right? Daag achhe hai. Or, like, why is it one of the best? Because whether you consume it or not, you know the slogan, right? Already you know that, okay, fine, this is the slogan and this is the marketing strategy, and that's then the brand's job is done. And the kind of TV ads they created, I think they were very quirky. So yeah, in terms of really summing up Red Bull's strategy, I think it was a very, very cool way to promote the brand while getting content, to your clients. They had an amazing, strong YouTube strategy. They were promoting they had amazing engagement by providing good content. They focused on telling stories. I think that's very important, and as a brand we all should remember that. And this comes back to the whole user generated content, that when you start talking about organic content in terms of stories in your content, it's not just about promoting some kind of sport, but it's also a passion that we all share. So they knew exactly which social channel was perfect for them. They knew exactly what to target, when, and that's how it all worked out, right? So I will really, well, one of y'all just remind me. I will share the Red Bull case study link with y'all, because I think the video link doesn't seem to play here. So I will share the content marketing initial video, the history of content marketing link with y'all. I want y'all to see the video, guys, and I also want y'all to see the Red Bull case study. Are we on the same page, guys? Do you have a question, Purnima, for me? Tell me. What's your question? Any question, guys? Are you all understanding the content marketing, social media? Initially, I spoke about inbound marketing, is it? Are you talking about inbound marketing that I spoke about? Are you talking about inbound marketing? Okay, you're talking about inbound marketing. So inbound marketing is really it's a process of basically how do you get your clients in a storyline, right? So for example, HubSpot, okay, uses inbound marketing. It defines inbound marketing in a process where you kind of interact with with your customers. You choose to share stories with them. So there are various types of content, and there are different stages of buying circle. So for example, when you actually start, you can it be called a pull model? um yes, you're right. So, yes, Anu, but I would just like to tell Purnima that so basically what it comes is it's really all a chain, inbound marketing. So, for example, when you actually drive your content, okay, when I'm talking, for example, when I'm talking about a social media strategy, you really put out the content there. Then you are expecting what? Engagement, or you're expecting comments, shares, you're expecting likes, you're expecting people to, engage with you, or you're expecting, or in your comment section you've written, or like, for more queries, you visit this link, so you go to the website. Or if you're a real estate company, you expect people to sign in their id and pass sorry, their id details, their email id, so you can send them newsletters. So this entire chain is really called inbound marketing, and it's the best way to kind of turn strangers into customers and promoters of your business, right? Because you're involving them in an activity that they are themselves involving them into. And it's a good way to attract new businesses. Did you get it, Purnima? Okay, so we'll move ahead, guys. Should we move ahead? I don't know. I'm not getting your responses, guys. How is it a unique content marketing strategy? It's a unique content marketing strategy because it's very cost effective, right? Like, it's, if say for example it's a lead generation campaign, and you're doing a inbound marketing campaign to it, all your email marketing efforts are right there. It's very cost effective. So inbound marketing is known to be a very cost effective method, which is why it's really good. So I'll just go a little bit into detail to to cover Purnima's point. So I think inbound marketing, just to like, for everyone to sort of to get on the same page. So right, there's so there are different inbound marketing strategies, right? There's SEO, for example. So SEO, you all know, it's search engine optimization. There's social media marketing, which I spoke about. It's very, very effective, cost effective, for generating new visibility for any sort of businesses. It provides you with a platform really where you engage with any person, building a loyal audience. And by sharing on-site and off-site content, you provide your followers with some kind of value, and then they get back with the with the details that we ask for. There is PPC that I covered earlier. It's called pay per click marketing. There are landing pages. There's content marketing that I covered in it. So these are really the main elements of inbound marketing. I hope, Purnima, your query is clear now. And to answer your question, really, how is it a unique content marketing strategy? Is it's very, very cost effective, and it really deals with the users bang on. Like you do, the mediums are very, very, very cost effective. It's SEO, right? So yeah. Okay, guys. So let's get into. We have, I think, 10 minutes more, right? So I want to quickly go into the into a little more snippet into social media marketing, where how do you write better content, okay, for social media? So what do you want from social media today? When you post something on Twitter, Facebook, or Google Plus, you want tons of people to read it, like it, share it, comment it, because you've spent so many hours creating the content, the picture, finding the image for it, and social media is a great way to promote your work and attract people. But how do you write better content for your social media, right? It's very, very important. So let's start with the easiest but still very important social network, Twitter. Okay, Twitter will not need any particular writing tricks from you to reach your audience, but you will still need to know what your audience there actually is. Twitter is a very, like, Twitter is a medium when your 140 character tweet can go right or wrong, right? So it's all about hashtags. It's all about like, hashtags help you engage much more people to your content. For example, hashtag fashion blogger, it's just right there, it's self-explanatory. It's only those things that relate to your content very directly. Try to not use more than 3 to 4 hashtags, I would say, per post. Do not make it difficult for your audience to perceive what the story is about. You really want to focus on the visual, the caption, and really, 3 to 4 hashtags to really get the word out there. Images, right? Twitter lets you post your content as often as you want. So images are a very, very, very big thing of it. Twitter is 140 characters. So yes, what kind of images do you really use, right? Use an image that's related to the content for the post, like for your readers to really understand, and for the readers to really think that, okay, fine, the image and the caption are going together. Or use the image which will capture readers attention, and make them want to click on it. So I think that's really about Twitter, and how do you really write a social media content on Twitter. If you have any kind of questions about how do I write social media content on a certain platform, please ask me, guys. I feel like reply to comments. I think that's very, very, very important thing. Engage yourself with like conversations. Let them see that the brand is active, that the brand is really interested in knowing their customers. Do not post the same content again and again. Once will be enough. That's it, for your target audience to get it. Make sure you've joined all the right communities. Or, like, make sure you have right kind of groups which you're a part of, to know that, okay, fine, where your content is really seeded in. Facebook, right? It gives you options to post content. It's either with links, it's either with images, it's either with videos. So really, like, you have tons of options there. You have to catch people's attention, you have to entertain people, you have to send some powerful messaging out there. So don't forget about a strong headline. I think caption, when you write, is really, really important. In addition to images and descriptions, the title can be changed, and you don't need to use a certain headline from your article, but capture a certain, say a powerful message that grabs their attention, and that makes the audiences kind of remember what you are trying to tell them through your Facebook posts. When you're posting pictures with images on Facebook, make sure they are, they should not exceed 403 by 504 pixels. Make sure you decide to highlight your post if that's an important one. Try not to choose very eye-catching and emotional pictures, which would it's just like try to choose pictures which sort of go well with your mood of the brand. With your videos, I think it's very, very important on Facebook that you want more clicks and more views. Now, the visitors can watch your video inside Facebook now without being sent to another website. So you definitely want to put a link to your content out there. You can also highlight the post again for a video. And yeah, so I think any questions, guys? I think we'll end the lecture now. Any questions? Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being a part of this lecture. If y'all have any sort of questions, I'll address it tomorrow. I will send you the content type, Anu. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks. Thanks. Good night. Good night, Purnima. Thanks. Thanks a lot, guys. I hope you all have understood the topics that I really covered today. And if y'all have any sort of questions, y'all can go through the video again. Y'all can come back to me tomorrow with questions. I'd love to answer them for you. Thank you, guys. Bye. See y'all tomorrow.